put an end to all you are doing at the moment. Set your phone to Do Not Disturb. Close every other tab in your web browser. The Coachella Valley in Southern California is currently under complete siege, so turn up the volume and pay close attention to what I have to say. I need you to fully disregard any preconceived notions you may have about the ambience at the BNP Paribas Open. We are not discussing courteous golf claps. We're not referring to calm country club tennis matches where spectators silently sip champagne. We are discussing an absolutely unprecedented, earth-shaking ticket rush that has caused systems to become overwhelmed, secondary markets to break down, and event organizers to experience complete logistical panic. Alexandra Eala, a 20-year-old woman who has officially landed in the California desert and brought the entire Filipino diaspora with her, is the cause for all of this lovely pandemonium. The reports that Indian Wells is currently providing us with are simply astounding. Tickets are disappearing into thin air for the particular sessions where Eala is even predicted to take the court. The Alex Eala effect has totally taken over the famed tennis paradise in the desert, and the established tennis community is stunned by what is happening in front of them. You must listen to what the real legends of the sport are saying behind closed doors and on the open microphone just days ago on the immensely popular Nothing Major podcast in order to fully comprehend why the box office is currently blowing up and why secondary ticket prices are skyrocketing to levels typically reserved for the Grand Slam finals. Sam Querrey, John Nuh, and Steve Johnson, three former ATP titans, devoted a sizable part to this same subject. Let's take a moment to consider this. These individuals have experience playing on the world's largest center courts. They have faced Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer. They have witnessed every aspect of professional tennis. Nevertheless, they were utterly astounded by what they were seeing with Alex Eala. Every marketing executive, sponsor, and event director in the Women's Tennis Association is currently wondering, is Alex Eala the biggest draw in women's tennis right now on a worldwide scale? Steve Johnson responded without even thinking twice. Yes, he replied. He called the degree of attention surrounding her insane and absolutely massive, describing the crowds that flocked to see her in Australia and the enormous mobs in Dubai as standing room only. When former elite American men's players, who typically concentrate on the ATP, devote their podcast time to examining a 20-year-old Filipino on the WTA Tour's ability to draw large crowds. You are positive that the sports paradigm has completely changed. They pointed out that the aura surrounding her is more widespread than localized. Filipinos flock to these stadiums in support of their national hero as part of a big worldwide mobilization. She is now entering Southern California, which is home to one of the biggest, liveliest, and most fervent Filipino-American communities worldwide. Indian Wells would have to physically construct more stands to meet the demand if the venues were solely standing capacity in the Middle East. But let's be crystal clear on one very crucial point. There is more to this ticket craze than merely ethnic representation or national pride. It is predicated on unquestionable IC dominance on the tennis court. Alexa won't be attending the 5th Grand Slam as a fortuitous wild card entrant or as a cute media narrative in an attempt to salvage a few games. After her historic giant-slaying run to the quarterfinals at the WTA 1000 event in Dubai, when she destroyed world number 7 Jasmine Paolini in a match that practically shook the stadium, she is traveling to California as an absolute apex predator. The computer rankings have risen to a career high of world number 31 thanks to Eala. Are you aware of the true meaning of that number in relation to the Indian Wells draw? She is now formally eligible for a first-round purchase. She doesn't have to put in a lot of effort during the tournament's early days. She is not required to participate in a life-threatening qualification. In the round of 64, she may relax, take a break, discuss the draw with her Rafa Nadal Academy coaches, and wait for her prey. For the first time in her professional career, she is a seeded competitor at a 1,000-level tournament, demonstrating that she has broken through to the very top level of the sport. She has made the WTA computer mathematically acknowledge what her most ardent supporters have always understood. She is a top-tier world-class threat with the strength and the acumen to defeat anyone on any given day. And if you require any other evidence that the vast business world is cognizant of her enormous influence, before she ever went into the desert to whack a practice ball, have a look at what she did. At the Nike World Headquarters in Beaverton, Oregon, Alex Eala was being treated like absolute world royalty while other players were working hard on the practice courts and perspiring in the sun. She received more than a typical corporate tour. The largest and richest sportsier giant on earth gave her a customized red carpet welcome. Nike practically covered the walls of their storied campus with enormous posters depicting the pivotal moments in her career. To honor her roots and make her feel at home, they produced an enormously gorgeous visual display that was inspired by the sampita, the lovely national flower of the Philippines. Nobody knows the maths better than Nike. They observe the stadiums that are sold out. They monitor the numbers of social media activity. They witness the goods flying off the shelves. They are aware that Alex Eala is the best and most profitable link between the vast, mostly unrealized potential of the Asian market and the Western sports machine. They know she will be their worldwide tennis division's face in the future, so they are strapping a metaphorical rocket on her back. The remainder of the tour receives a scary message when a brand like Nike implements that kind of approach. What does this imply for the tournament itself, which is taking place in the California desert? It indicates that the Indian Wells Scheduling Committee and tournament management are dealing with a horrifying, exquisite logistical nightmare. Early round games for players who have just been seeded are typically held on the smaller outer courts, such as Court 4 or Court 6. However, Alex Eala cannot be placed on an outdoor court. Physically, it is not possible. The thousands upon thousands of fans who are presently swarming the ticket gates and purchasing every pass they can get will actually swamp the venue if you place her on an outdoor court. She must be put on Stadium 1 or Stadium 2 due to the enormous number of people who are eager to see her powerful left-handed forearm. Since she is a certified main event attraction, she is compelling the organizers to treat her with the same degree of scheduling respect as an Igatech or an Arena Sabalenka. Additionally, the player who is unlucky enough to draw her in the second round is about to enter a psychological meat grinder. Imagine playing tennis professionally on the WTA circuit. You spend your entire life training. You give up your early years. You take a plane all the way to California. You emerge onto the hard court from the tunnel. Abruptly, you become aware that 15,000 spectators are fervently, loudly, and actively wishing for your demise. The audience bursts in applause each and every time you miss a first serve. The stadium absolutely trembles under your feet each time Alex Eala knocks a clean winner down the line. In her press conference in Dubai, Coco Gauff, the current US Open champion and one of the world's most mentally tough athletes, acknowledged that she had to deceive herself into thinking the crowd was chanting her name in order to survive the oppressive mental warfare of competing against the Alex Eala fanbase. I now want you to double that boisterous throng in Dubai by 10. Place them inside the enormous reverberating bowl of the Indian Wells Tennis Garden and infuse them with the glorious California sunshine. Her opponents are dealing with that. The wall of sound is overpowering, oppressive, and unrelenting. Eala also consumes it. Despite the intense pressure from her fellow citizens, she does not back down. She takes it in. She harnesses their strength, determination, hardships, and enormous pride. And she transforms everything into blatant violence. It is impossible to overlook how exciting this tactical duel is. Indian Wells courts are renowned for being distinctive. Although the courts are hard, the ball clings the surface and is propelled by the desert air, resulting in a very sluggish, gritty, high-bouncing atmosphere. No one uses heavy top spin more effectively than a left-handed prodigy taught at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca under these conditions. For Alexa's game style, these slow courts are essentially constructed in a lab. She has the ability to control the court's geometry, blast that enormous looping forehand cross-court, push her opponents so far back into the California fence that they require a map to locate the net, and stand at the baseline. Eala's strike zone is where strong hitters who depend on flat driving shots will find their balls sitting up. For anyone on the opposite side of the internet, it is a tactical nightmare. For this particular tournament, the stakes are enormous. However, Alex Eala is playing with pure house money, which makes it special. She has 0 ranking points from the previous year's schedule to defend because this is her eagerly awaited debut at the BNP Paribas Open. She has nothing to lose. For her WTA ranking, every match she wins and every round she advances is pure, unadulterated profit. Later this month, at the Miami Open on the opposite side of the nation, she will face an enormous mountain to climb, defending 390 points from her historic wild-card semi-final run from the previous year. However, she is free to swing here in Indian Wells, amid the desert. She is capable of taking significant chances. Without the oppressive fear of falling in the computer rankings, she may pursue her aggressive returns and passing strokes. And believe me when I say that the most dangerous form of Alexi is one who is fearless and unburdened.